Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Daily Drop-In, the Teach Better Team's morning show where we are live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have a lot jam-packed for today's show. It is Monday. It's November 1st. I cannot believe it. We have a good news story. We have a new theme this week. We have holidays we're going to celebrate. We have an exciting week ahead to dive into this brand new topic. We cannot wait. And of course, we're going to catch up on our weekends because it was just Halloween and I want to hear all the stories. So we'll be right back. Please go fill up your tea or your coffee. And we'll be right back to get into the fun of this beautiful and kind of chilly Monday morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jeff. It is Monday morning, which means it's you and me today, buddy.
It's Monday and it's like a whole new month.
A whole new month. I know.
A whole new month, right? Like that's all the singing you get this morning.
I feel like you should sing all the time, like constantly.
I'm trying to think. So that just, I don't know what it was, but yesterday, and you'll appreciate this because you love her too. Yesterday, my wife was singing that randomly, but like to something else. I'll think of it later. But like the kid said something about a whole new, and Amy just burst into tune.
So that makes sense to me. That's appropriate.
That's my weekend, and one more reason you're jealous that I get to marry her.
It's true. I do love your wife, Amy. She's phenomenal. And you know what? I have a feeling that if anybody comes to Teach Better Conference 2022, they might be able to meet her.
They probably will. Mm-hmm. A lot of people met her last time.
I know. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, November 1st, a brand new month. We have a lot going on this week, this month. I cannot believe we're in November already. Before we get too far into this, Jeff, I got to get our priorities straight because, yes, I'm excited to talk about the new theme. Yes, I'm excited to dive into holidays and good news articles and everything else. But more importantly, can you tell me about your Halloween with your beautiful family?
Our Halloween was good. So if you joined us on Brain Break last Wednesday, you learned that we're weird and in Stone. We do our trick-or-treating on the Saturday of.
Can I tell you, by the way? I didn't think that was weird. Like, I know that you got a lot of grief for that, but that
I don't think it's weird either. I think Dave was way off, and he was really, really crazy upset about that.
Yeah.
And he said that it was like communistic. And I'm like, you realize holidays are literally the government telling us when we're allowed to celebrate stuff, right? Like that's what holidays are. Anyway, but I did find out that my hometown, which never used to do it, which had that realization like live with Dave, they actually do that now too. They do on a specific day, which to me makes sense. It's a community saying, hey, we're all doing this together. Anyway, however, ironically, it was pouring down rain during trick-or-treat, like torrential downpour. Had we did it last night on Halloween, it was gorgeous here. So there you go.
You can't control the weather. That's not fair.
No, but so it was good. We actually, my neighbor John and I, we did so we have new neighbors right next door to us. So we kind of did like a Halloween new neighbors excuse to make a whole bunch of food. And we did like a neighborhood party in the driveways and stuff throughout the day. And we did pulled pork that was smoked for like 18 hours, and we did Jamaican jerk chicken, and we had baked beans and chili and all sorts of desserts and all kinds of stuff like that. And we did that all day, and it was gorgeous all day for that. And trick-or-treat starting at 5:30. No joke, at 5:28, it just opened up. I'm talking like pouring down rain. And so Jonathan didn't feel good. He started really not feeling good. He ended up falling, like conking out and not getting up. So he didn't go. So Jacqueline was on a mission to get as many suckers as possible for her brother. And she did. She went down and actually outlasted the older neighbor boy that she went with the older siblings, took them down. They just did our road and back. And they all quit. And she and I went back out and hit the rest of the neighborhood. And she was a trooper. So it was good. It had been it was a good Halloween.
What were their costumes?
She was a witch.
Yes.
Which she chose when she was picking between on Friday to wear to school. She was choosing between her black shoes and her red shoes. And I said, well, black seems a little more like an evil witch and red seems a little bit like a good witch. She goes, well, the red could be the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. I'm like, oh, so that's what she was essentially, I guess.
Right.
But she was a witch. And then Jonathan was Boyfriend, which was from the game. There's a game called Friday Night Funkin'.
Yeah.
And the story is that Boyfriend's trying to impress Girlfriend. So he was Boyfriend. But he didn't go. And Amy did a great job on his costume too, which is too bad. But
well, I saw pictures. Did you post this on social?
They did it for Friday, yes. So
okay.
he wore it to school and stuff. So it was good. He got to wear it, and it was good. Okay. So they had a good time. He ended up feeling better later on and finished passing out candy at the end. But it was good. It was a good weekend. And yesterday was okay, other than the Browns losing again. But, you know.
Well, Browns may have lost, but the Astros won. So
we got a good series going, at least in baseball. So that's good. How was your weekend? Because you also had a nice Halloween treat.
I had a great weekend. I got to see some friends, some members of the Teach Better family. For all of you that know, Katie Miglin on the Teach Better team, Sarah Jesse on the Teach Better team, and Nikki Piercy. These are all, Nikki edits our blogs. So you may have interacted with her that way. Sarah Jesse does a lot of our images for our blog department. So you may have if you guys have done a blog anytime recently on teachbetter.com, you've interacted with Sarah in some extent, maybe not even known it. And obviously Katie joins us live all the time. And we got together for a little Halloween get together, which was fun. More importantly, while it was fun to see friends, right? We all dressed up as Katie, and Katie didn't know, and that was the best part of the Halloween.
That was the best part. If you didn't, Rae posted on her Instagram stories and stuff too. It's pretty good. I enjoy it.
It's just fun. So we took on multiple personalities of Katie Miglin.
It was Zoom Katie,
Workout
Katie, and
Work Katie and Workout Katie. Yes. Mm-hmm. So very, very fun. And it was good to see people. I went back to the community that I used to live in. For those of you who have been with us for a while, I moved in June. And so I was able to go back and see a lot of my old colleagues and everything. That was so fun. So
I know we have a lot to get into today, but can we discuss something that's really important right now? Why is your mom giving us an angry reaction on Facebook?
Is that what she's doing? She gave an angry face?
Your mom gave an angry face on Facebook.
I think it's because I haven't seen her in a while, so that does sound like her.
Is that what she's
Sorry, Mom.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I did something upset you, Julie. Please let me know so that I can fix it, because I don't want anything but smiles from Julie.
I'm sorry, Mom. I love you. I haven't talked to her over the phone in about a week, and she may not know that I have a little, I've been a little sick. My voice is gone. You need
to call her. We're all going to get in trouble.
I'm sorry, Mom. I apologize. She's also very fun and athletic, and she's probably working out this morning. So to be fair, he's probably, I was going to say,
it was a mistake.
She hit it by mistake, I bet, because she's busy working out on the treadmill, and she just probably clicked something, and it happened.
I get it. Okay. All right.
She says she misses me though in the comments. Mom, I miss you too.
I can continue with the day now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm better.
Good. Jeff, there's a lot that we're getting into this week. I know that we're excited for a new theme and everything else. Before we do all that, we did kind of make a big announcement last week that I thought maybe we could go through the bare bone basics and encourage our Teach Better family. If they didn't hear the big news, maybe they could go back and rewatch the replay of that fun live we did last week.
Oh, we did announce it last week. Huh? That was fun stuff. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we announced the initial details of the 2022 Teach Better Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So we announced when it's going to be, where it's going to be, and we opened registration with early bird pricing. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be October 14th, 15th, 2022. It's going to be in Akron, Ohio. And registration is now open at teachbetterconference.com. Early bird registration saves you $100 off until March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I have a question.
Yes, I have answers. Lots of answers. Probably not the right ones, but I have answers.
This is a real question, and this is maybe going to be helpful in your day today for anybody listening, or maybe won't be, but I need to know. So if you say early bird registration is open until March 1st, that kind of implies to me that it's through March 1st, till midnight on March 1st.
So technically it's through the 28th.
Right. So how do you say that? Is it through
the 28th or until the 1st?
The only problem is nobody knows if February has 28 or 29 days, so it's just easier to say March 1st.
Yeah, the pricing changed on March 1st, Eastern time. So at midnight Eastern time on March 1st, the start of the day, pricing goes up by $750, and that's what's happening. So
Definitely get the early bird pricing. It's $100 off, and it only goes up $100 on March 1st. But we just, never believe in paying full price. So definitely get your tickets now.
Yes, absolutely get the tickets now. And yes, I'm looking at Adam, who's doing it for us. He's like, you have the end up until the end of February. That's how you say it right there. Because 28 days, 29 days, it doesn't matter. The end of February is what you have up until. So it's not 29 this year, isn't it? It's 28, right?
I don't think it's a leap year.
It's not a leap year. Yeah.
I don't know, but
although you better leap on over to teachbetterconference.com and get your ticket before it sells out.
Wow, that was really good sales and marketing right there.
We should go to the next segment now.
Yeah, we're going to go into good news because this got really bad. Bye, guys. All right, friends, we are live for Daily Drop-In, which is when we're live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have some good news stories for you. We have some holidays for you, and hopefully you can get started with your day, not only being inspired by these incredible holidays and celebrations we can take time to acknowledge, but also use them as fun facts, bring them to your students, use them in, the workroom to, bond with a colleague. These are good things. So, Jeff, there's a lot of holidays, and some of them I feel like I didn't realize were holidays, and now knowing that today is the day, we do need to pause and intentionally put these into our lives. So there's a few here. The first one is, it is Worldwide Job Action Day. Job Action Day recognizes and empowers those who dream of having a job that they love.
Ooh,
so yeah, I love that focus.
I love that focus too.
Okay. Do you love your job?
I do love my job.
Good. Because, if you don't, this is the day to be empowered to change.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. Also, National Cinnamon Day. I encourage you all to get something cinnamony today, like a breakfast something.
I have it's my flavored coffee this morning is cinnamon roll. So didn't even know it. That's great.
Like you knew. This one's interesting, and I apologize that I didn't know this, but I think this is such a good reflective moment. It's Color the World Orange Day. And what this is it acknowledges anybody who has a health condition that either doesn't have a cure or isn't something that you can necessarily get over right in this moment. And the World Orange Day is acknowledging and empowering ourselves to live with the circumstances that we have currently. Mm-hmm. So it's not always about getting cured, but about learning how to live with a disease. So interesting reflection there. Orange Day. I wasn't aware of that one.
I don't know that I knew about that. I like that though. It's powerful.
It's a good one. It's also World Extra Mile Day. So roll up your sleeves and put in a little extra effort today because the world wants you to put in 1 extra mile.
So you have to go 1 mile.
Got to go 1 mile. National Brush Your Teeth Day. Did you brush your teeth already this morning?
No, I'll brush after my coffee.
All right. Well, today is National Brush Your Teeth Day, so make sure you maybe do it twice. And maybe most importantly, it's also National Calzone Day. And who doesn't love a good calzone?
National Calzone Day.
Yeah. Okay, there's a lot here. It's also World Vegan Day, National Vinegar Day. This just goes on and on.
Okay. It's also the first day of American Indian Heritage Month.
I see. I'm trying to get there. There's a million here. It's also National Men Make Dinner Day. So Jeff, men
make dinner to. Okay.
It's also All Saints Day. Oh my gosh, it's literally on and on. And
they
on.
Couldn't pick other days.
This is just there's a million holidays today. I don't know.
Well, it's not. It's the start of the month. It's November 1st. We just finished Halloween, so now everyone forgets about Thanksgiving and we go right to Christmas and the holiday season there.
Wait, I didn't realize after Halloween you could get into Christmas. I thought it was after Thanksgiving.
It's supposed to be after Thanksgiving. I think that's what a lot of people are like, hey, don't forget about Thanksgiving because a lot of people just get. I actually thought about when we came on for this segment about playing All I Want for Christmas in my speaker, but I decided not to because I saw so many people on social media this morning ready for Christmas already. I'm like, well, I don't get me wrong, I love the holiday season, but Thanksgiving's part of that. I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I don't understand. I thought that you had to wait till after Christmas. I mean, or after Thanksgiving, because I don't celebrate Christmas, but like I'm pretty sure that like it's after Thanksgiving as a third party from the
Yes,
outside.
it is after. Yeah, you're right. It is after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Adam's wondering what's Vinegar Day. I have no idea.
Is it today's Vinegar Day? That was one of the days you rattled off?
Yeah, Vinegar Day today.
Celebration of vinegar.
Guys, essentially today has 4,500 holidays, and if you're looking to bring a fun fact into your classroom, just look up what holidays it is today at nationaltoday.org because you'll find something.
I love it. That's exciting.
Okay.
Are you done? Do we still have more holidays, or are we going into good news now?
Well, I want to go into good news because I thought that you'd be excited about this one because you like boats.
I like boats, yeah.
And this is an interesting story about being able to live on a boat. Would you ever live on a boat?
I don't know that I'd live on a boat, no.
Why not? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I like to live on land. I don't know.
Oh, I would totally live on a boat.
Depending on where it's at and why I'm living on the boat and what kind of boat's on it and who's on the boat with me.
I would live on this boat.
Okay. I'm assuming it's a large boat.
It's not a large boat.
No,
but it's really pretty. And I think if it's pretty, I would live in it.
That would make it, makes it a better place to live.
It says they've designed a livable pontoon boat that looks like a Volkswagen bus. Like, the old Volkswagen bus.
Yeah.
Okay, so an Italian design studio is making a line of small river boats or lake boats to be to look just like the old car. The model is super accurately rendered from this entire mindset of the old Volkswagen bus using fiberglass, and it goes through on fresh water. It kind of goes through. They're making only a small batch of them, but it goes through how they made it, that they're only taking custom orders, and that the $1,000 investment gets you a $5,000 discount on your first order because they're trying to get like these up and running.
The $1,000 invest is the down payment to lock to
the down payment. Yeah. So you get a 1% stake in the company if you invest to help them make these really goofy boats. You should go look these up because they look just like the old.
But they're livable, so they're meant to be like lived on, like they have.
No, you can't really live on them. I just thought it'd be cool if you.
Oh, I thought you said livable.
Well, I mean, I think that I would live on them, but no, I think they're just small boats to take around. Okay. I mean, I love water. I would love to live on a boat. I could totally do it.
You just live on a boat.
Why not?
Why not?
And it's the Volkswagen, like they look big enough that you could like put a bed at the back,
Yeah, I think you could. Yeah,
like a twin size bed or like on the couch or something.
Yeah. The boats that I'm typically on, we would not want to live on, no.
Because you go in like a canoe? I wouldn't want to live on a canoe.
Wouldn't want to live on a canoe.
No.
No, they're 20, we have a 19-footer Amy's dad does when we go up to the island, but like, it's not like, it's just got seats and engines for us to get to and from where we're going. It would be a little cramped.
Okay, maybe when I say live on, I mean that I want to be on it the majority of my day, but I don't.
Okay, so you want to live on a lake and have a boat.
Okay, fine. I'll meet you in the middle there.
Now, there's some, I don't know, man. There's plenty of boats that are huge and you'd have way more room than you would in my house and more amenities, and you could just go wherever you want. Like,
they're $1 million boats, though. I mean, do you have $1 million I can borrow?
No.
Oh.
Not yet. Probably not ever.
If you would want to live on a boat, please throw it in the comments. I'm just saying, friends.
All I hear right now is I'm on a boat by Lonely Island, and it's making my Monday. No, I'm not going to sing it, but my Monday's better right now. Mm-hmm. I'm happy.
All right, we have a new theme this week that we're going to get into. I think it's a really interesting one. It's very specific, which I think is going to lead to some really good discussion so far. So we'll be right back.
And welcome back. What was that? Your hands? I'm like ready to come back in, but I come in. Your hands are like this. You dropped your mug, and we're like, oh.
No, okay. I have my mug. I just would love to not sound like this.
Anyway, you sound. I think it's better than you were at the end of the last week, but that's a whole other thing. So we're back. This is your daily drop-in for Monday, November 1st, which is apparently every holiday in the world right now. Where we are live Monday through Friday every day, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. You're also catching us possibly later in the day on the Teach Better Talk podcast. We can get everything as well. We got some people dropping in the comments letting us know whether they'd live on a boat or not. Adam says he'd live on a cruise ship. But we're going into our theme this week. And by the way, if you have a theme you want us to tackle, a question you want to tackle, a suggestion, anything like that, you can go to teachbetter.com/brainstormbank, and that'll get you, or just teachbetter.com/daily drop-in and get in there and drop in some ideas. You can throw in there, share who you think we should bring on, whatever that might be. This week, Ray, our theme is your last 5 minutes, which, full disclosure, when I first read it, I was like, well, that's a little like doomsday-ish. And then I realized what we were talking about. We're not talking about like your last 5 minutes. We're talking about the last 5 minutes of your class periods. Yeah. The last 5 minutes you have with your students each time you're with your students, which then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense for what we do. But this is really cool because I'm curious whether you have some time coming up that's like your first 5 minutes, but we talk about that. Have we had that one yet?
We've talked about starting your day with
starting your day, yes. But this is like really specifically to your class period. Like when you have your kids, how do you finish that each class period strong? How do you prepare them to go on off to wherever they're going and to come back tomorrow or whenever the next time you see them is? So I'm curious, Ray, to just get right into it if we can. Can you break down how you finish your classes? Like, how do you wrap up your, because I've been in your room. I always give you praise for being in your room and with your students and the ownership they have and the fact that they're all doing different things because being met where they are and the ownership they have is just awesome. Sometimes you do room transformations that are really cool, but how do you, and I can't remember. I've seen you start the class. I know how you do that with the shark bait and all that stuff, which is awesome. But how do you finish up your day? I'm sorry, I'm going into, some people are like, I want to go to Ray's room. You do. But how do you finish it up? Like, what is your thought process when you think about those last 5 minutes? What are the key things we need to be focusing on? Yeah, I know it's a lot. That's a heavy question, but.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a really important concept that sometimes we get so in the weeds of lesson design planning that we forget that the last 5 minutes are valuable minutes in our day. And they're not just work time minutes, but they're minutes that we can actually utilize to set up our students to exit with success, but also set them up to come back and be ready for the next learning opportunity that they may have in your classroom. So whether you're teaching kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, I mean, no matter where you are in that like teachable moment, our students utilizing their time successfully is a huge focus for every educator. And we really focus on that at the beginning and in the middle, but the end are some powerful moments that we can reclaim some control over. So for my classroom specifically, you guys know that I love the grid method of the mastery framework that the Teach Better team does a ton of training on. If you're not familiar, there's like a free and full course and a ton of resources in the academy, but also at teachbetter.com/grid method, the grid method. But I will tell you that I always love using the last 5 minutes in my own classroom for goal setting and reflection. So that was an intentional time when a student would stand up in their classroom and we had like this goofy little like clapping thing that we would do to let everybody know it was time for goal setting and reflection. And everyone would quietly and carefully like pause wherever they were, like get to a comfortable stopping point. And we would reflect on our class hour and set goals for the next time we were working. And for a lot of teachers, sometimes the next time they're working is in an hour or in a few minutes. For my classroom students in middle school, it was the next day, right? So they were getting ready to leave and they wouldn't be back for a whole nother 24 hours. And so this was a time for them to not only reflect, because that's a powerful opportunity that we can give our students, but also reset so that when they came in the next day, they can just pick up where they left off. And so I loved being able to end our time that way. And then obviously we would play music, you'd pack up your things, push in your chairs and stand behind your seat. So a lot of moving pieces within those last 5 minutes.
Let me ask you about the goal setting, and you kind of already sort of touched this, so you sort of already answered it, but because I know a lot of teachers who use the grid method who actually do their goal setting in the morning, or like this, not in the morning, at the start of class. You do your, and I know plenty who do that in the last 5 minutes too. Can you share why you chose to do it at the end of class versus the start of class?
Yeah, so there's no wrong way to do it. And to be honest, friends, my students at the beginning of their day would then pull up their reflection and goal setting from the previous class and or from the previous day and review it. That's how they would transition back into
Mm-hmm.
classes. They would essentially be reporting to their future self, hey, this is where you left off. Hey, this is where you were having struggles. Here's where you should get started again on your following day. The reason I liked it at the end was because I taught middle school for a long time, and I know that when students leave my classroom, they're off to bigger and better things, and they completely forget what they did in their sixth grade math class, right? They have other subjects, they have other homework, they have other stressors, they have other family obligations. And my mindset was always to give your best in the classroom for when we have our time together, and then give them permission to go and focus on those other important things of their life. But we would use a tool like video or writing things down, however your goal setting or reflection are reflecting, to document where you were, because it would essentially give students permission to say, let's take some valuable time. What have you accomplished thus far? And then it's okay that you're going to forget it, because all this knowledge is still going to be here when you get back.
I think that's it. That's a big piece. Like, it's okay that when you walk out of my classroom, you forget about my classroom for a little while, because tomorrow when you come back, you're going to have your notes, not me telling you what to do, but you've told yourself from the day before.
Well,
Which is
and
cool.
goal setting and reflection is really challenging for teachers that aren't using a self-paced model. I know I tried to incorporate goal setting and reflection in my classroom when I taught in a more traditional sense, and I found that it was really challenging. Like, I didn't really understand why I was doing it. I just thought I should do it, but essentially it was challenging because students had the same goal, because I was essentially telling them what their goal was going to be, because I was dictating the pace of the classroom. And I'll tell you that if you're using a mastery framework and students are working at their own pace, goal setting and reflecting is essential, because you essentially have 34 students doing 34 different things in your room. However, I'll tell you that if you are doing it if you're teaching in a more traditional sense, goal setting and reflection can be a really valuable tool at the end of your class hour. It just needs to be done differently. You might be reflecting on how your learning felt today, and have your students really be working on what it feels like to understand, what it feels like to be confident in class, some of that stuff. So you just might have different reflective
It's
questions.
not as much about what am I doing, so much as how am I doing, how am I feeling, where am I at. I want to bring up Sandra's question, which, hi Sandra, we'll take you late. It's okay. We'll take whatever we can get. Rae, did you give your kids a choice of how they documented the goals and reflections? And if so, did you give them like 3 options, 5 options, unlimited options? What break that down for us?
Yeah, so friends, this is actually what I wrote my thesis on when I was getting my master's, because I was really interested in how the medium in which our students goal set and reflect affected their effectiveness in goal setting and reflecting. And so that was actually my research topic, which I really would love to go back to. I think now in my career versus when I got my master's, I think there's so much more research out there. I've learned so much more as an educator. I really love this topic, but essentially what I did was I studied the different opportunities that you could offer students. And to Sandra's point, it wasn't just what medium they were using, but if they got choice and autonomy in choosing the medium, did that change anything as well? So through a bunch of different research that we were able to kind of compile, I ended up finding that giving the students choice was the most valuable option. It wasn't so much that one medium was the fit for all, but giving students the choice in how they reflected really allowed the medium then to not be a hurdle that they were choosing to overcome, as you wanted them to focus on that reflection mentality. So I used a program called Seesaw. I love talking about Seesaw because I am a huge advocate for Seesaw, but I never paid for it. It was a free version. So for all of you out there that have like access to the real Seesaw, you're so much cooler than me. I used Seesaw, which was literally, I used a free teacher account my entire time using it. I'm sure Seesaw can do hundreds of things that I never, ever, ever took advantage of. But what I loved about Seesaw, it was essentially an online digital portfolio for students. The biggest thing that I loved was that when you were going to go in and submit something to this digital portfolio, you got to choose from 6 different mediums to submit your resource, your answer, your reflection. So students could record a video, they could draw, they could type, they could link something. So by giving them all that choice in the process, then I typically had them answer 3 to 4 questions. So it was, what did you do today? How well did you understand it? What do you need to be successful tomorrow? And then sometimes, especially during COVID, there was like a 4th question, something related to them getting their resources or maybe not having access to a resource they needed because, we were hybrid for so much of that 2020 year. So what I really loved is that all students were answering the same questions every single day, but they were able to choose if they were going to do it in an audio form or video form or typing, and it was just kind of fun.
So let me ask you this, from the teacher's perspective and efficiency, them having 6 different options. So you've got 100 kids throughout the day or whatever your number might be, 100, 150, right? With 6 potential different options, a lot of different ways to do that. Did that affect your efficiency going through it? Or this is coming from someone who's never I've never been in Seesaw, so I don't know how easy it is. I'm assuming you just click through and it's either you open a video, you click an audio, whatever. But did that have any potential negative effects? Or
so this is literally, I get this question all the time, and it's interesting. I don't think we talk about this enough. So and Chad and I have not talked about this in years, and so I'd love to get Chad's thoughts on this if he's still live with us.
Well, I was gonna say Chad's here, so.
I saw him commenting. So Chad, if I'm wrong, I would love for you to throw in the comments too. But Jeff, we spend a lot of time building in student ownership especially when they are using the grid method. We want students to advocate for themselves and take ownership over their progress, over their pacing, over their determination, everything that they need in the classroom. We're essentially providing them, and they get to truly learn how to take ownership over their learning experience. And goal setting reflection falls into that category. I very much love looking at my students' reflections. I love hearing them or reading their narratives about what they've learned and what their goals are and like their victories for the day. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff. But I don't check them every day. And I don't want any teacher that has 150 students to feel responsible for checking them every single day. Now, that doesn't mean I don't hold my students accountable. And it doesn't mean that I'm not explaining to them consistently why this practice is valuable to them. But I am not the teacher that at the end of the day at 4:15 is going through Seesaw and looking at all the reflections from the day. If there's 150 of them, especially if they made a 3-minute video or if they typed, it's hard to look through that. So there's a few different strategies here. On Seesaw, you can document or you can look at if a student has posted. So just the simple act of knowing that a student submitted something is data. I also love having students pair up so they share each other's reflection. So it's kind of a student-to-student accountability component. Sometimes I have a list of students that I know are struggling through some sort of element of this unit. And so I'm checking in with maybe not all 34 students in my classroom, but maybe I'm checking in with 10 of them before they leave. They do their Seesaw and they come up to me with their computer and say, hey, I submitted my Seesaw, and I'm kind of checking through and doing some like formative assessments with them on how they're feeling and what their plans are. There's so many different flexibility and ways to do this, but I just want to acknowledge I don't check their goal setting reflection every day. I might check that they submitted. I might check on occasion on my phone. You can kind of scroll through and see all their fun things, but we really push, and I think this is the most important part. They don't goal set reflect for me. Like, they're not goal setting and reflecting in Seesaw so I feel good. They're goal setting and reflecting in Seesaw so they can be successful. And when you shift that ownership from you're doing this for me because I'm the teacher and I'm telling you to do this, and instead you're showing them the value of the resource, then it's not about doing it. It's about them understanding how that resource can help them be successful. And that shift is essential when we're talking about students taking ownership over the resources you're giving them.
I love when you take stuff exactly where I was hoping you were going to take it with the question, because I wanted to ask about the ownership, but I'm like, I don't want to lead that. So I asked the question that I know you get asked a lot, which is, it seems like a lot of stuff to watch, Rae. But I think that's so important. And I talked about it when I first kind of brought us into this, like the ownership and the students in your classroom have, and that we see all over. And it's not just Rae. Rae's a great teacher, but like we see this a lot where And it's so amazing when you see that the students understand that they that they are in charge of their learning, and this is just another way to do it. And I think it's just awesome.
You know, Jeff, we had a lot of activity in our private Facebook group this weekend. I don't know why, but I just kept getting notified of stuff. And one of the conversations I was in last night with a number of teachers, if you're not in our private Facebook group, that's at teachbettergroup.com. It'll redirect you there and you can literally go join this private Facebook group. But it was a teacher posting about utilizing music in their classroom during work time. And it was really funny because while there was some great suggestions, and I have a 3-part rule that was fun to be able to discuss with some of the people in the group, the actual interesting kind of conclusion of that conversation, at least when I went to bed last night, guys, I'm sure that you guys kept it up, but I was tired, was about even when you put in all these supports, and they were specifically discussing music, what happens when the student makes a different decision? And it was interesting because then we got into this conversation around, well, then you have an opportunity to discuss with that student the choice they made. You can set up the students having all the resources and supports in the world that you want them to, but there's actually some beauty in them choosing to not utilize the supports you give them so that when they're successful, you can reflect with them, or when they're unsuccessful, you can reflect with them. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, would it be perfect to say that every time a student is working on a creative opportunity, they listen to a specific type of music because you know that there's research and data to show that this music is going to inspire creativity out of the learner? Yeah, that's great. But when they make the different decision, even though you've given them all the supports to make the quote unquote right choice, that in and of itself is a teachable moment that we can be embracing as a positive, not as a negative. So it's cool.
I love it. I'm excited for this, excuse me, for this topic this week. So I think you said it earlier that because it's very specific, we're going to get into really specific talk with a lot of awesome people. So what do you say we take a look at this week coming up and who we got coming up?
All right, friends, we are wrapping up Daily Drop-In here, and then I'm going to go check my heat because I'm literally sitting here shivering, and there's no way it should be this cold in my home right now. Jeff, it is like icicles in my office.
How warm is it there in Illinois? It's 39 here, and an hour ago it was 43. So it's getting colder as the day goes on here in Ohio.
This says it's 34 outside, but it's 66 in my house right now, but it's set at 75. So do you think my heat's broken?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
Seriously, though, that's a thing, right? Heat should not be 10 degrees.
Was it a big drop overnight? Because it could be catching up, but that seems quite a bit different.
It's been running since I went to bed. It should not be this far behind.
Do you think it has anything to do with you just being a cold-hearted person or something?
I thought you were going to go a different route, so thanks for that, buddy. But yeah, I think that could be. I'm just saying it's icicles in here, and I have a fan, and that's going, and I'm pretty sure I'm freezing.
Are there icicles on the fan? Because that'd be awesome.
There's icicles on the fan.
Also dangerous.
Yeah. Also dangerous. Be careful. Hopefully,
be very Elsa, shooting. Anyway.
Okay, upcoming this week, friends. We have a lot going on. So it's interesting because this week, I told you last week we had some really wonderful new members of the Teach Better family joining us. And holy cow, did they show up. If you guys did not catch last week with all those new friends to our Teach Better family, holy cow, definitely go listen. This week is kind of similar because we have a lot of new faces to the Teach Better family. And we love that because the opportunities that we have to reflect with each other, faces that we are really familiar with, is so valuable. There's so much trust there. We know we're going to get a good show out of them, but I'm so thrilled to bring new people into our community because these are educators doing essential work to better our field, and yet we haven't yet had the opportunity to connect with them. So this week, we're going to continue the new face trend to bring in some new family to our Teach Better community so we can continue to connect with new people, learn from new people and different perspectives. On Tuesday, Mickey Hernandez will be joining us. I've been following Mickey for quite some time, And they are going to be so wonderful to actually bring into this community. On Wednesday, we have Damien joining us. Damien is also a new friend and a new family member. These are all educators that have connected with our team either on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn. And so that will be a beautiful face to join. And then we have Jennifer joining us on Thursday. And so these 3 educators are going to bring so many different perspectives and value. They live all across our communities, and they're going to have different perspectives to add to this conversation of the last 5 minutes. Of course, then on Friday, we end with the amazing Brad Hughes.
I love it. That's exciting. Good week. What else? Do we have anything else going on this week? Like anything else on the team? Any exciting? Like last week was a really exciting week. Like, is this week just like, eh?
No, I will tell you. So we have some exciting stuff, but not specifically the daily drop-in. Can I tell you that stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The other team exciting stuff.
One thing is, if you are in Ohio, we just partnered with a wonderful ESC, and we are hosting a free grid method introduction with the one and only Chad Orshowski. That's happening on the 8th, but you need to register this.
Is that with SECO? Is that with the ESC or is that with SECO?
Yeah, it's with SECO.
So that's actually the Science Educator Council. That's your state.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's your state Ohio NSTA affiliation. So
sorry about that.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of free grid method training, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. So if you guys are in that area and get to go learn, it will be with Chad. It's actually November 8th. So you have to register this week so you can attend next Monday. And this is going to lead into then a few different workshops that are happening at the beginning of the new year in January. So we would love to have our community show up. If any of you have been interested and want to learn more about the grid method, obviously we have resources we talk about all the time, but learning from the grid method like master himself is an opportunity that we're really excited to be able to offer to people.
I'm sorry, I'm looking to see what the website is because I should have looked at it. So it's Science Education of Ohio 1. Okay. It's just search SECO, SECO Ohio, and it'll pop up. Or I mean, we're posting all over too. So
we are posting all over. I saw the post on all social media platforms. Specifically this morning, I saw it on Instagram. So I know that we're posting about it. And there's a really easy registration link in our post. So just go find it. It's a blue image. You can't miss it. So.
And I know some people are like, yeah, but like Chad, I was like, he's good, guys. Like, trust him. He's pretty good.
I mean, I learned the grid method from the Yoda grid man himself. So I'm excited.
That's cool. That's a lot of fun. That's a story right there.
Additionally, next week, which is not this week on Daily Drop-In, but next week on Daily Drop-In, we are doing a weird theme for Daily Drop-In. We are celebrating, what is it, the 2nd anniversary? No? 3rd anniversary? How many years has it been? Since Teach Better 19.
Oh, it's been 3 years, huh?
So we had it in 2019. The first anniversary would have been 2020. The 2nd anniversary would be 2020.
This is the second. It's but 3. Yeah, well, 2 years since 3. I don't know how many. 2 years since. I don't know how to do math.
We're doing our 2nd anniversary. Here's why: we haven't been able to have the conference since 2019, but next week will actually be the time that we did it back in 2019. So we're actually bringing in some old friends that were able to be at the conference, and we are celebrating all the fun stories, all the highlights from the conference in 2019, in hopes to celebrate also us all coming together in 2022 for the Teach Better conference, which were the details we just released. So,
Rae, during that week, celebrating 2019, can we I don't know, give away a registration for 22 or something? Can we do that?
Are you saying that live on camera? Yes.
That's why I asked it live on camera, because then you can't really say no, right?
No, but typically I need your permission to do that. So if you're saying yes, I'm saying yes.
I'm pretty sure nowadays we need Dave's permission, and he's not here. That's his fault for not being live this morning.
I don't think he's live with us, so let's do it. Yeah, let's give away free registration. What day do you want to give away the free registration?
I don't want to tell anybody.
Oh.
You've got to watch or listen.
Wow. Okay.
Does that work?
I think it's
because it'll be I'm thinking we'll give them a code and it'll be one use, so it's whoever gets there first.
Wow.
It's good.
Okay.
Right? Is that fair? I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm so excited for our guests, but now I'm geeking out over that. So yeah,
that's what I'm here for.
Sounds good. And then spoiler alert, guys, I know you probably already know this, but I just feel like it's a celebration, even though it's a celebration like every 4 weeks. But we do have a new course coming out in our academy in the middle of November. So that will be during the third week
It's
of
a good
November.
one.
Yeah,
Really
it's a
cool
good one.
people.
Well, okay, so cool people as the authors, but also a really great topic that everybody can use, which I think is wonderful because yes, when we talk about like classroom stuff, depending on what you teach, there's always something you can take away. This course specifically is relevant to every single educator. And so I'm really excited to
And beyond, actually. I actually think this course is relevant to people who have nothing to do with education if they somehow found our academy. Like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
All right. Well, I know that we've been live for 45 minutes, but I want to celebrate with all of you that I hope you join us all week long for Daily Drop-In. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have incredible guests, great topic, and obviously we'll be taking your questions live anytime you have them. So please know that if you need anything, we are here to support you, and we hope that you have the most amazing November 1st ever. I mean, Jeff, November 1st, new month.
Lots of holidays to celebrate today. And it's a Monday. Celebrate the fact that it's a Monday. You get to wake up today and you get to do whatever it is that you get to do today. Go change lives. I love it.
So fun. All right, friends, we appreciate you. Please let us know if you need anything. We'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye, friends.